I said earlier that athletics found me in 2014. But where it all started was in 2009. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I went, the route of a development club through Uriti Athletics Club. Yeah. So I'm the founder of Uriti. 2025, I was co-opted go CGA Athletes Commission as a member. And I think it came from, all the work that I continued to do in supporting the athlete. And I have a 10-point manifesto,
Yes.
But all of it speaks to one thing,
Okay.
It speaks to the relationship you have with athletes, the relationship you have with clubs, because clubs, the board reports to clubs. Institutional memory, it's something that I'm very passionate and pro about. Let's take a case where now CGA is going for elections and the previous board is disbanded. We need a handover, right? And that handover mustn't be sitting in somebody's head. It must be somewhere. There must be policy documents. We went to Marathon first Sunday of
which is the usual date.
Which is the usual date, and then you have another one towards the end of the month. So we have got 2 Soweto marathons. Which one is the real Soweto? So we need to address those things. And
And folks, welcome to this episode of the Runners Podcast with myself, Rotoholo. Today we are talking everything CGA, and we've got the president-elect, Umama Angel B. I think I need to cut my hair as well. Let me just hide my hair. Let me hide my bandla. And we're talking about her manifesto and her plans. If she gets voted in as a president of Central Gauteng Athletics. And without further waste of time, I welcome Angel B. Madam, how are you?
I'm great, and how are you, Roto? Thanks for the invite and doing this for us. Thank you.
And it's always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for making time to talk to me. Before we talk about the manifesto, just introduce yourself. Who is Angel B? Then we'll get to the CV, then we'll get to the manifesto.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Brenda Marolen, known as Baby Chair, Chief Seconder, and then Angel B, depending who you are, different people gave me different names. So, I kind of went with that. And so I'm an athlete, I'm an administrator, I'm a professional individual, and I got into athletics in 2014. Athletics found me in 2014, and because of the age, it took me straight into administration, and I'm enjoying the journey.
Let's go into your CV.
I started working way back as a payroll administrator. So my interest has always been finance and accounting, and I did very well in accounting at school. And obviously, it went into that direction where I then did a bookkeeping course at the time. And I did then a diploma in financial management, and I did then the business administration.
Okay.
So I worked as a payroll administrator, firstly as a bookkeeper, and then a payroll administrator, and then I went into financial management as a finance manager. And I didn't last long, because then I realized that, my passion is not necessarily in finance. So I did that for, I think, about 5 years or so in finance, and I then moved into I worked for South African Express Airways. I was what you would call a station manager or airport manager. So I was responsible for the different airports that we had around the country, and we had in Namibia as well as Botswana. So then all the station manager for those provinces or areas then reported to me. So my responsibility was to make sure that organizational policies, procedures, budgeting and HR and all of those things, they are done and they are coordinated by someone.
Okay.
So I was there to coordinate that, and I then moved into marketing management. So I was the marketing manager, obviously responsible for CSI, sponsorships, marketing, and a bit of sales. I was not responsible for sales, but I worked with the sales manager, and then also customer management. So passengers complaining about 1, 2, 3, I was there to address those problems. If we had a technical problem, I had to come in and work with the technical manager to say what are the delays, how long is this going to take, and so forth. So, and then my last stint position at South African Express Airways was working in the executive officer, CEO's office.
CEO.
Yeah, as an executive manager. So then I was then responsible for the different managers within the organization, ops, marketing, finance, and so forth, to coordinate reports for the CEO, but also if the CEO has anything to communicate, I was there, managing all of that, which I thoroughly enjoyed, because then it opened up an opportunity for me to be sort of like the face of the organization, or the face of the office, so if other CEOs of other airlines need to meet up with the CEO, I would then coordinate all of that, and so I then left and then went into HR management.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
So it just shows, that I had opportunities, to work in different fields, in different departments, so moving into HR was not so much of a problem, So I joined a consulting, an HR consulting organization, and there I was the general manager.
Okay.
Yes, so I again, they didn't have a CEO but just an owner.
Oh.
So I was kind of like CEO type of thing. So operations, policies, and just about the entire business was my responsibility. And then I then also fell in love with the recruitment space within HR. Recruiting for my role was I was assigned to recruit for executive officers, like senior management positions. Yes, yeah. So I was responsible for that, and I then left and started my own organization, still in HR. So for a while I did recruitment, but then I fell in love with policy development, management, and all of that. Yeah, so mine is more policy, and then I also then added a bit of, not a bit, a lot of CSI, corporate social investment. Yeah. So I did that, doing the events, HR events in line with CSI. And now I'm actively into your internship, apprenticeship, bursary, space development, finding the learners, placing them at TVET colleges or placing them, giving them that skill and
So you've been developing people.
So I've been developing people. I got developed myself, so why not develop some people? Yes.
And then let's go to sports administration, because yes, you have been developing people in other sectors of formal employment, but now let's talk athletics and sports in general. Just give us where you started to a point whereby now you are standing in as a president-elect of I think the biggest province in South African athletics.
Yeah. Well, I said earlier that athletics found me in 2014. But where it all started was in 2009. I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
And and it was stage 2, luckily for me. So I did reconstruction. I did surgery and then followed by reconstruction. So that came with a lot of picking up weight.
Wow.
I've always been an active person. I mean, I was like at Vision active almost every day.
Oh wow.
But then with the hormones doing whatever they were doing, I then found myself, with this extra weight that I didn't know what to do. And at Vision Active, then one of the personal trainers approached me to say, do you need help? As they would, like even when you don't need help, they will still.
No, but they're in the service industry. I mean, sometimes, they say
it's their job, right?
Their job to approach
recruit,
you.
Yes. So this guy recruited me, and I was like, okay, let's try this. It's something new. I've been doing classes like spinning and aerobics and whatever, and the weight is not getting down,
the weight is waiting.
The weight is not waiting. It's like, Bona, I am so not going down. So he put me on a program, and that program included 3-kilometer walks, 5-kilometer walks, which led to runs and
wow. So
he then belonged to, he's been running Comrades for the longest of time, and they had a group, so most of the time like he would, like especially afternoons or in the morning, so he'll be saying, no, I can't see you now because I'm going for a run with this group and so forth. And I was like, okay, what is this run all about? He says, no, next time you must come. So he included that in my program running. So I joined them, and I support them when they were doing their long runs, because then I wasn't doing long runs. And I supported them, and that's how I got into athletics. And I joined, it was Discovery at the time.
Okay.
Discovery Athletics Club. Or was it running
Vitality
club?
Running
Which
club.
is now Vitality.
Okay.
Yes, So when Discovery was changing to become Vitality, I then moved to Manoni. I joined Manoni running club, because most of the people that I was supporting and sometimes running with, they were Manoni, and then others moved to Vitality after Discovery. So I then joined Manoni, and I took this whole thing of seconding and supporting Komanoni, and I think this is where it all started, the chief seconder name, because also in 2014 I then started long runs. Which was something that was mostly done by Ditlapatsa Mahoa. So we brought it here. So Manoni was kind of like the first club to arrange a 60-kilometer training run, and it started by a birthday run. It was a 52 kilometers. So and then it was then extended to 60 kilometers. And then I was then appointed as the secretary of
Manoni. Okay.
Yes, yeah, secretary of Manoni. And me being me, I was like, okay, where's the constitution? Where is membership form? Where is that? And you find good, no, Tololo. So we started there.
Oh.
You know, to say let's find a structure. Let's give a structure to this beautiful club. So we did that, and we even in the process rebranded. You know, the beautiful shirt vest that you see. It was as a result of that rebranding.
Guys, even the slogan is Kilegas is Brenda. The drinking club, the running club with
no.
I think if she started all the paperwork, let's blame her. Let's give her credit.
I found it there, and,
Okay.
and you must find Victor, who is one of the founding members, who tells the story so beautifully about how all of this drinking came about. But I found it there. But you know, the rebranding was, you know, doing a logo.
Okay.
You know, among other things, because then for a longest of time, people thought Manoni is fat.
Oh, Manoni.
Manoni.
And you had
yeah. So you know, and so we needed to just, you know, make sure people understand what Manoni is, which is a beautiful bird.
Yeah.
So if you look at the logo, Manoni, it's a bird, you know. So that we did all of that, and then we then also I took them to their first elective conference and organized all of that. Club elective conference, and then I was then elected as the chairperson.
From secretary now to chairperson.
From secretary to chairperson, because then the chairperson was like, this is such a relief for me. I don't have to do everything myself. And so we put up a structure. We had a chairperson, a secretary, an administrator, you know, a membership admin. We had a coach. You know, we had a, which I believe it still exists now, you know, which is a good
So
thing.
it was, you set up you came up with a formal structure.
For them, and I mean it's working. And one of the other things that we also then did, because of the relationship Manoni has with Pirates Club, we then negotiated with Pirates. Can we just extend this thing a little bit, you know? And there were negotiations which I led. Together with the founding members, you know, to take over, or not necessarily take over, but to, on a 50-50 basis, host the 10 kilometer, not the 21.
Not the
10 kilometer Pirates 10K. Yeah, so we did that, and I mean that year, even the Pirates administrators were like, wow, you know, we were able to increase numbers. We took it to social media in terms of promotion, and you know, and it worked very well for the club. So yeah, and then in 2009, because now I've been there for like 5-6 years, and it was like, okay, now you've done what you did. What next? What's next? You know, and Manoni would not budge in terms of the vision for Manoni being a social club, nothing else but a social club. You know, and in my mind, I was like, no, we need to do something, you know. And I went, you know, the route of a development club through Uriti Athletics Club. Yeah. So that's
so you founded Uriti.
So I'm the founder of Uriti. And you want to know what Uriti stands for?
Yeah,
it's in Swahili, right?
I know it's a Swahili name.
It's a Swahili name. It stands for legacy. And that's why today...
Uriti Legacy.
That's why today we have Uriti Legacy, as my granddaughter would say. I would say it, yeah. So, that's basically it. And really the aim there is to develop and nurture, firstly identify, and then nurture, you know, the talent that is there through supporting them, guide races and so forth. And I must say that, you know, despite the fact that we are called COVID babies, we did very well, because we produced champions. I mean, we have a champion that an athlete that went and won the Tshwane fifth. Yeah.
Not Tshwane North Ultra.
Tshwane North Ultra.
Okay.
It was won by an Uriti athlete, both the 50 and the 21.
Okay.
And that's why then it was like, hey, yeah, uzenenye Uriti taking all, and even at comrades, I mean, they I'm trying Mahakwe, yeah. When he joined us from Next Elites, I think his best time was 7:25 or something like that. And then the first year that he was at Turiti, he finished 6:19. So
oh wow,
yeah, so that was it went a lot of investment, training, discipline, and physical training went into it. So we have produced quite a number, and Lesello as well, and they were taken by those clubs that have got money, and it's fine. We are a development club. We allow them to go, and and today we have a race. It's 3 years old, and very proud. We're still growing. We're still trying to find ourselves, but it's a step in the right direction.
And have you been into any CGA roles? What's your experience with CGA?
Yeah, okay. So 2024, I was then co-opted go CGA as the, in fact, 2025. Yeah, 2025. Your time flies, eh? 2025, I was co-opted go CGA Athletes Commission as a member. And I think it came from all the work that I continued to do in supporting the athlete, and not only Uriti athletes, or at that time Manoni athletes. I remember the founder Ari, actually, are you using our money to buy these oros for the runners? And I'm like, no, I'm not using Manoni's money. It's my own money. So I think all of the co-option came from that, to say, you know what, this person is passionate about athletes. I'm sure she can come in and help us, and I must say the last 8 months or so has been nothing but bliss. I enjoyed every minute of it, which then resulted to my appointment to the Comrades Marathon Association board.
Yeah. So I didn't want to, when I did introduction, I didn't want to talk about comrades.
We're not talking about.
No, I'm just saying, I didn't want to deliberately, I didn't want to talk about comrades.
Yeah.
But just briefly, you are a CMA board member for the second year now. I think you're bringing a lot of experience or expertise from the likes of Comrades Marathon. But just give us a little bit of your journey towards becoming a Comrades board member and some of the learnings, just quickly.
Well, the journey started, me saying, you know what, we always complain, and I mean, it came from the time when people were being cut off. There would not be water somewhere, which something I suffered as well when I was running the Comrades Marathon. And I was like, you know what, I'm done complaining. I want to see exactly what goes on behind the scenes, and I then joined CMA as a volunteer,
yes.
And I joined as a volunteer, but also as a member. And I went, my first meeting was in 2023, November of 2023. I attended the AGM.
Oh, you attended that AGM, okay.
Yes, and there you get reports, you get asked this, and I was there asking the questions, but the questions were more, inclined to what had happened to athletes,
the
cut-offs, and because I personally was very vocal when that happened, because I know how painful that can be.
She's a slow runner, that's why she complained.
I know. I was like, no, back runners need to be protected somehow, and we asked all of those questions, and that's where I met, may her soul rest in peace,
Mom
Cheryl Wayne, yes, and she really liked me. She says, oh wow, you are asking all the relevant questions, and you're very passionate about athletes and particularly back runners. And then in 2024 I was then appointed as a convener of the Winners Circle.
Okay.
So what that is, it's like a VIP for the winners, and their families, their coaches, and whatever. So it was for organizing that VIP section for about 120 people in total. Okay. Yeah. So it started from, absolutely nothing to that white marquee and the deco and this and that and and all of that. So that gave me exposure as well on issues of doping, what happens at the finish. It gave me exposure with the event itself, so I must say I'm enjoying. Yes, my 2-year ends November 2026.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we'll see what happens then.
And she rubbed shoulders with the Minister of Sports last year. Hey, yeah, I was green with envy.
But I didn't know you were, because I could have invited you, because I was like, ooh, up to because I wanted to be out on the road.
Really?
So the VIP thing was like, I even went to Cheryl and I was like, Cheryl, I'm suffocating.
Really?
I'm suffocating. She says, no, take off your jacket. I took off the jacket and I said, I'm still suffocating. And it's not anything but, Minister, you can't do this. Minister, protocol. No, guys, no. There's fun out there. And
see, from shooting the gun at the start to rubbing the shoulder with the minister at the finish, waiting for Tete to press the tape. Yeah, I think it was a very beautiful day for you there.
Yeah, that I thoroughly enjoyed, because why? It had athlete in it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that space. And immediately after prize giving, I went and changed into tracksuit, and I was at the finish and taking selfies as usual with athletes. Yeah.
Most importantly, what we are here for, the manifesto.
Yeah.
Just take us through the manifesto. I think you've spoken or you've talked about the manifesto on various platforms. So today I think you know which points to touch, which ones not, and where to elaborate and what not.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly go through the manifesto, if we can be that brief.
Yeah, I think I always say that I have a 10-point manifesto.
Yes.
But all of it speaks to one thing.
Okay.
It speaks to the relationship you have with athletes, the relationship you have with clubs. Because clubs, the board reports to clubs.
Yeah.
That the board is there to make sure that resolution passed at AGMs by the clubs, they are implemented correctly. So I think, the first thing on my manifesto is how then do we work with the clubs? How then do we work with the athletes, to make sure that whatever programs that we introduce and want to implement are impactful and serve a purpose, as opposed to just saying, oh, we have a league, it's a 3 months or whatever, but then at the end of the day, there's no impact, there's no result, you have nothing to show for it. So it's introducing, working with the coaches, the parents. There is a lot of good that is happening at CGA. It's just it's not properly structured. So my experience, in bringing structure to organization and bringing life to those organizations, I think will benefit. So which then moves to my next point in terms of we need to review policies that exist.
Oh,
Policies and procedures that exist. Why are certain things happening the way they are happening if there is a policy?
okay.
So then maybe the policy is old, it was drafted donkey years ago, and it's not fit for, what we are seeing today, because sport evolves faster than, I always say, a gun can run,
Okay.
so it does. So I think the second point would be then to look at the policies, redefine them and make sure that they are fit for purpose. Implementation of a Legends program, which also ties in with a development program, because Legends are there to serve as people that we look up to, to say, that SBC finished and won what you call Two Oceans Marathon.
Yeah.
The times were difficult for them.
Yeah.
Times are easy now, So somebody like that can, then go to schools if you want to introduce school sports and schools program to say, this is how you can do it, and use those people, because now they are unemployed, right?
Yeah.
So you say, here's a stipend, you are a coach, go to that school, try and identify, and then you can come and tell us how then we can design a program that will, make those improvements for the younger generations, guys.
Okay.
We are still holding on to Akani Simbini. We are still holding on to Abo Elroy, and they are getting old. So we need to see the Elroys. We need to see, but track and field is doing wonders, through Bo tax, and but I just feel it's not enough. I mean, CGA is the biggest in the province, in all the 17 provinces, and we need to develop an equivalent of. You can't be saying when there's Olympics, you have 10 athletes that are going from such a big province. We need to have a sizable number, so we need to be very intentional about those programs and make sure that they work. Institutional memory, it's something that I'm very passionate and pro about. That you need to document things that are happening in any organization.
Definitely.
Nobody was born to be permanently employed or to be permanently a president of any federation.
Yeah.
So information, if now, let's take a case where now CGA is going for elections and the previous board is disbanded. We need a handover, right? And that handover mustn't be sitting in somebody's head. It must be somewhere. There must be policy documents, there must be action plans, there must be reports and strategies, so that we don't have to reinvent the world, but we take from what has happened before, improve it a bit, tweak it, and then come up with. So it's very important that we document what has happened prior to where we are. And unfortunately, now with CGA and even athletics as a whole, it looks like we are kind of forced to go back to yesteryears and see what worked then and why are things they don't seem to be working now. So what happened in between? Go back and then say, okay, we start from here and then come and then say these are the improvements that we need to make sure. So I think that's very important that we get into such. I did speak of looking at policies and reviewing them. I mean, that goes with financial policies as well. We need to make sure that these are sound. It can be that in 2025 financial reporting, an audited statement from the auditors, it's still a qualified report, which spells there's certain things that are not happening. They are not happening correctly. So are those policy driven, or what is the story? So we need an improvement to that. But we also need an improvement to the race calendar. The congested race calendar really. Oh, yeah.
That's one of the questions that I was going to ask you. You can just elaborate on that, because CGA is by far the most congested running calendar, to a point whereby you see other races being accommodated on Saturday. An unusual day, which is Saturday. And last year I saw there was, I'm just going to drop names here, there was, I think there was Alexandra and Kubega. Alexandra is in Alexander, which is not even 30 kilometers away from Boxbeck, where there was Kubega. Yeah. So those kind of things. Just please elaborate answer the question.
It's very congested, painfully congested, and it doesn't even begin to support the upcoming races. To be able to say you're starting a race. How do you grow it and so forth? Because then you find yourselves competing with one another, competing for numbers. There can only be so many runners that come to you. So if you split those runners, then the one gets to suffer. But coming to the Run Alex one and the Kubeka one.
I was just giving
I'll give you another example as well. To say, they always talk of radius. No, this one is far, but that shouldn't be the case. It should be this one is in CGA. So how do you then support and grow? And you'll definitely not do that if you then make them compete. One of the other things that really got me, to be irked by this congested was 2024. I think we had two big races, comrades qualifiers, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday. That was Run Zone and GP.
Right? Oh, yes.
Yeah. And they both suffered. So how then do you as an organization say you are here for clubs, you are here for race organizers, or even you are here for athletes, if you're gonna have something to that effect?
So how do you address that?
Then let's come to the other one, which is just so bizarre, which is the Soweto Marathon.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes.
2026 calendar. I don't know if you've seen the fixture.
Yeah.
We have
the usual date
marathon first Sunday of
which is the
usual date, and then you have another one towards the end of the month. So we have got two Soweto marathons.
Oh wow!
I think in 1 month.
Yeah.
So which one is a comrades qualifier, by the way? I just want to know.
And which one is the
real
Soweto?
One is the real Soweto? So we need to address those things and be very honest about the things that we do and put on paper and agree to. It must never be about people. It must never be about anything but the athletes and how we can then grow the federation going forward. So you asked me how to address that. I think it's to go back to road running. Road running is also up for nominate or election as well. In fact, the entire structure of CGA. So it's perhaps to get people that have got the interest of road running, the athletes and the race organizers at heart, that will work together to come, because we desperately need to. As president did say in Parliament that Soweto Marathon belongs to SMT. The court said they belong to SMT. We all know it belongs to SMT. Go back there, take it back there, and let them find each other in terms of help them put a structure that would be the same as the Soweto Marathon that we know, and then they can improve. There is no reason why we are not growing Soweto Marathon. Now they also fighting for numbers. It can't be. Soweto Marathon must open today. It must close tomorrow with 30,000 entries in.
Yeah.
That's where we need to take Soweto Marathon, you know. So yeah, there's that as well to change. But then also, you know, making sure I'm an HR person. You know, I love working with people, and I want people to work in a conducive environment. You know, that there must be HR policies. There must be, you know, a document that guides certain things that should or shouldn't happen within, you know, the HR space. Yeah. So I think, but then the other biggest one then is to stakeholder management. I asked someone exactly what it means to be the president of CGA. They were like, no, you are just the face of CGA. If there's a meeting, you must go there. If you know, that stakeholder relationship management, which is something that I am passionate about, you know. So yeah, but I also come with, you know, strong admin and coordination, project management. So I think we should be able to coordinate all the activities and come with a well-oiled machine that, you know, other provinces will copy.
I'm gonna ask just few questions randomly that talks to the manifesto. Some you did not cover in the manifesto. Our athletic structure in the provinces. You've got the road running commission, you've got the athletes commission, track and field, and then you've got is that cross country?
Cross country.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not an expert in everything, but what is your plan of making sure that every structure is well looked after, gets the attention of the president?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, I might not be an expert, but I have, you know, some idea as to how each one of those, you know, should operate and what value they need to be bringing. You know, road running, I'm already, you know, even a race director and as a runner as well. Track and field, you know, that knowledge comes from doing my technical officiating course, you know, because then I got to understand certain rules around that, and that was quite fascinating. And cross country, I've participated with cross country, and that speaks to development, because cross country should really be treated as that, together with a track and field. So and then of course athletes commission should be like the number one, you know, because then all of these different ones, road running, track and field, they have athletes, you know, in it. So it's important that, you know, we find a very strong person to drive programs, study athletes, and, you know, the wellness of the athletes and so forth, you know. So I think, you know, putting or introducing school sports, you know, strengthening that, not introducing, strengthening it, but also kids athletics. You know, when I do officiating, you find the little ones coming and they still don't understand, or you say, please go take that equipment. If you are throwing, go and take it, and they ask you as a technical official, which one must I take, ma? Which one? And you're not supposed to be doing
or as
all
an
of
official,
that. As an official,
you're supposed to be like referring or overseeing.
Exactly. So now and then they come and run. So it's what happens out there when they're at school with their coaches or whatever, you know. So if you introduce, if you then improve on how things are done both at school, kids athletics, and also, you know, getting proper equipment for these kids to use, then when they come to the leagues, they're able to perform, you know, same way.
So they know, they
other advantaged kids, you know, they come there with their bags and they've got their equipment. They use their equipment.
Or they know that they come to compete, not to
to practice. You know, and they know they're coming to compete so that they could be selected. You know, so if you already coming from that disadvantaged, there is no way that you make it to selection. So we need to look at that structure and perhaps have more leagues, because the only track and field leagues we have are the ones organized by ECGA. So maybe if we open it up to clubs as well, same way we do with running, we have a track and field calendar. Club A can say, no, I want to take this one, I want to take that one. Same thing we are doing with cross country now. There's different clubs that apply for it. I think we need to take track and field to those levels so that at least we get to identify another Akane Simbini as in yesterday. Yeah.
And then let me just throw this one. How do you, like at the moment, CGA does not have structure. What are your plans to unite CGA from where it is to a point whereby come the next elections, there will be people who will still be in the structure? Like,
yeah. Look, I when it comes to conflict management,
yeah,
you would not, nothing comes close to me
with the HR background.
exactly. So I think I will bring that. Okay. I'll be able to get people around the table, to say, why are you here? Let's we don't have to be friends, we don't have to like each other to work together, but we must say, what is the core vision of CGA? Why does CGA exist? And then how do you then come in and make sure that there's coexistence? So I think people need to just understand that my role is this, and and Brenda is not my boss, or the president is not my boss. Together, all of us are here. We are volunteering to try and make this thing work.
Purpose.
And I'm just hoping come the 24th that we will elect people who are fit for purpose and who has the passion for athletics and not self-development.
Were you trying to answer the question that I was going to pose, that people, like nowadays, people are seemingly after positions, titles, they are there to enrich their CVs and so forth. So I think that's the mindset out there, that people vie for positions because they want to just better their CVs.
That's okay. That's okay to vie for a position, but you must come with a serving mentality. You must do what you want to do and not say, no, I'm here for this, for myself. No, you need to serve and serve correctly, and do what is required of that person. You never know. No one was born a president. Some presidents get in because of the experience, because of the work they did back there, grassroots, and then, they were promoted into this. But you must never stop having this thing or mindset that I am here to serve.
And how are you going to manage your CMA board membership with CGA? And I believe you're still employed or self-employed as well. Don't you think your plate will be too full?
I think it will be full in the beginning, but once you put structures in place, this wheel needs to start running, because, just like with a car, the car gets manufactured, they put pieces of things together, and then it's a car. And then the person comes and buys the car, and they drive it for a long time. And they don't have to be worried about replacing the spanner and this and that and that. All you do, you put petrol and you service it, and that's what needs to happen. You put structures in place, policies in place, and this thing must just run on its own.
So when as an original equipment manufacturer, you'll provide service at an interval,
I
at
will.
the correct interval.
Because monitoring and
Yeah.
and evaluation is a big part of, being at board level. You need to say these are the programs, but then after 2-3 months, you say monitoring and evaluation reports. What does it say? Are we still on track, or we need to change a bit and change the oil? And then we say, okay, how do we change the oil? Change the oil, and things get going again.
Are you running for only, because when I introduced the introduction, I said president-elect. Are you only nominated to be a president? And if so, or if not, are you then open to other positions? Let's say it's a head of road running commission, or as an additional member, or you only after the presidency position?
I'm nominated in other positions as well. I think four positions.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, and some of them, I think one of them I did not even know until I saw the nomination, because I didn't want to go into that space. But my focus, a lot of clubs said no. And even if you look at the nomination, the number of clubs that have nominated me for president are much more than the other positions.
Other positions.
So the focus is I've been campaigning for the president, but I'm there to serve. I want to see CGA improve. I want to see CGA grow. So if I don't get presidency and then I get co-opted elsewhere, I even said the other day, even if they were to have to say we are starting a new position, we want somebody that can come and wash athletes' clothes or techies, I will be that person. If they say we think you can fit, I will be that person. I'll look into it. So yeah.
Controversial one. Do you have, if you become a president, do you have any preferred candidates?
No. No. I don't have a slate. I do have other, people nominated, leaders within CGA. Nominated who have come to me to say, hey, please support, because I'm still a council member through Uriti, right? So say, no, please come and support. This is what we want. We want to save in this portfolio and so forth. I was like, oh, okay. I've worked with you. I know you. The other one, I said, can I please see your CV? And they were like, oh, okay, is this an interview? I'm like, no, it's not an interview, but you want my support. You want my vote. I need to know what I'm voting for. So and they gave me that, and so I don't, and nomination list is full of people with wealth, with experience, with passion, and we have, for the first time in a long time, we have more women nominated in positions, so I think it's very rich, and we should be able to come up with a very strong board, but also commissions and committees, or commissions rather.
Your plans to because there's this thing of saying clubs are not attending board meetings. So do you have any plans of inspiring confidence to clubs to own CGA as a provincial structure by supporting the structure and attending those meetings?
Well, I think it's important. CGA belongs to everyone, the athletes, firstly the clubs, because then the clubs produce the athletes, yes. Right? So, and it's important that, they come through and be part of the system, right? And I think in the last 18 months, when we started seeing this dysfunctionality within the board, clubs were showing an interest, because then it would be like, oh, we've got a special general meeting today. I mean, CGA has had so many special general meetings in the last 18 months than it ever had in its lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So the clubs then started showing an interest, and it was through some of us and others, to phone clubs and say, please, there's a special general meeting, come. It can't be that the fate of the province is determined by only a select few, so come through, and they started coming around and so forth. But I think what has been discouraging was the fact that meetings would not follow a set agenda. You get there, the meeting is supposed to finish at 1:00, and 4:00 you still haven't gone through half the agenda. So people kind of like, some come in the morning and then after 1:00 they leave. So I think it's keeping to, finding a structure that works and keeping to the agenda, deal with matters, and and finish the meeting at a set time. Put time frames to it and respect those time frames. Yeah.
Something that I think it's an ASA matter, but the conversation has to start somewhere. The issue of raising funds, revenue generation as a province. Do you have any plans of revenue generation without relying on the club licenses? Because I know CGA is selling it's selling a lot of licenses, it's generating a lot of revenue from licenses. But do you have any alternatives?
Well, it's club licenses and affiliation fees, but also government grants that we enjoy, and I think we still need to continue to enjoy those. And then the race levies. So earlier on we were talking about improving the race calendar, or resolving the congested race calendar.
Yeah.
Because the more people attending that particular race, the more money CGA makes from race levies, right? At the moment, we've got, I think, Johnson Crane, which is sort of like the biggest in Gauteng. Stand to be corrected, with 8,014 just on a marathon. Just on a marathon, So instead of creating two Soweto marathons, the other one will have 5,000, the other one will have maybe 1,000. Bring them together, give them structure, and then they get 30,000. It's a lot of money for CGA, right? So that would happen. But also then, I spoke earlier of your cross country and your track and field. So go and sell that concept to the corporate. Give them naming rights. You could have Rotokulu podcast league, track and field. You could have Mang, owning that, and then they bring in the money. Go to corporate and tell it thing. Money is there. It's just, you need to give them comfort that, the money that you would give us, we will use it for what it's intended for, and it will not be for ourselves.
That's where the CSI experience come into play. And then there's this one which I think it's a dilemma for most of the races that gets organized in the metros, the jock fees. Do you have any plans of negotiating the jock fees, maybe to be to be lowered, or to have a flat rate for, because some races, they will say our entry fee is so much, we pay in this small because of jock fees. Have you thought of that, or what's your plan?
Well, I have, and to tell you that part of what I've been doing for the past 2 years, Garesia, the Uriti legacy, is that job, and this year our race is sponsored. Jog is sponsored by the city of Joburg, you know, because even they have a CSI program, right? So if you sell, well, depending on your why, you know, for having that particular race. They're then able to look at, okay, how can we assist? I mean, they've assisted also your run zones, I think waterfall, but I'm not sure. But, you know, we need to have this workshop with powers that be, you know, to say, and they also help Soweto Marathon.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to have a workshop, you know, to just deal with, you know, the real challenges and how government can come through for us, you know, through the jog and in trying to grow, but also to get, you know, the standardized prize money for certain distances and so forth. Because yeah, if you don't have a sponsor, and sometimes even if you do have a sponsor, but if you have to pay 250 to jog, just jog, and you still have water, you still have t-shirts, you still have that, it's yeah. So definitely there will be plans to have those meaningful discussions with traffic departments.
And then as we go towards the close of our talk, I don't call it an interview per se, we're just having a chat.
Yeah.
I mean, I think CGA has been losing athletes to like AGN, especially.
Don't go there.
I'm going there.
Okay.
What's your plan of action on that one? Because it can be a pain somewhere in the body, especially if you are trying to develop, but the faster you develop, the quicker they disappear as well.
Look, you know, introducing education within athletics, right? Because if you look at why they leave, most of them, it's because they go to Kuro and tax. Some of them, you know, go to UJ, but it's all linked to what's going to happen to me when I stop competing. You know, what do I have to fall back on? You know, and if other provinces are offering that, then when you will develop, you'll give birth, you will develop, and they will leave.
Yeah.
And as we speak, CGA has lost, I think, 5 or 6 juniors to Pretoria. But also to have this relationship with the provinces, we need not be competing amongst each other. Let's not compete. Let's build this relationship and have an understanding of the mandate. Yako asa. What is it about? You understand? And then we can together come up with this program that develops kids from wherever they are, but also making sure these are the people that are going to, the kids that are going to represent us. So it's relationship management. You know, I got a call from one of the mothers, athlete, Ario. Do you know that my son is leaving? I was like, leaving where? Are they going? He says, no, they're going to Pretoria. They were offered education, like scholarship, and wow. And this is someone that, you know, I think all of us at CGA have been eyeing to say, this is the next best thing.
Yeah.
You know, now they're going to be...
I mean, the reason I'm asking this is because, I mean, as much as you want to be president, you want to leave a lasting legacy. So let's say, for example, you get to serve 2 terms, you want to have that legacy, say, this is my product, you know, even if you're not directly involved, but you would want to pride yourself with a product.
I want to serve 1 term, right?
And I'm just giving you an example.
I want to serve 1 term because I want to be able to take someone much younger than me who has been in the sport for the longest of time to say, please come, let's come learn. You know, I also need to learn as well certain things, you know. But the succession plan is very important because sometimes you hear people saying, no, but you know what, better the person that is there. And when you look at that person, Brenda Shem, Unalisasa card, And they have done nothing to train anyone,
Yeah.
you know, to take over. So you can't then be wanting to say you are leaving a legacy when you are not taking other people with
definitely.
you. Yeah.
I think we can sit here and talk.
Hey.
But then your parting shots. The elections are happening this coming Saturday, the 24th. On the is the eve of Johnson Crane, the biggest race, whereby even I think the voters will be saying, "Yeah, guys, I need to go and collect my race tag," or you know, those kind of things.
Yeah. You know, I just want to say these are highly contested elections, you know, and we see also, you know, some of the board members that were disbanded, they're also, you know, wanting to come through. Or wanting another opportunity, perhaps to fix, perhaps to, you know, do certain things correctly this time around. So they are highly contested, and I just want to make a plea to the voters, you know, that let's not vote with our hearts. Let's think about the decisions we're going to make on Saturday, and let's do the right thing for sports and not for individuals.
Thank you, Sis B.
Thank you so very much,
and all the best for you and others on Saturday. And CGA, it's the biggest athletics province in ASA, and I think it deserves the best of leadership, and it needs to lead by example. And I think most of provinces are looking up to CGA, and I think it needs to look the part. It needs, I think
most definitely. And I think for the first time this time around, we're not going to have an AGM. So we're going to go straight into elections. So we will be finished by early. Let me not put a time to it, but I think we'll finish earlier than normal. And just like everybody else who is running, I also would be wanting to rush to Discamp before they close, so I can go buy my oros, because I will be on the road on Sunday. Go Johnson Crane seconding. I wanna see something.
I wanna see
I wanna see something.
We want first lap as well.
It's the same sport, so they see. Well, only the 10 and the 21s, they see me once. But the 42s, they see me twice, and they do see me.
Okay. Thanks, Angel B. And for you at home, hope if you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, comment. We love what we do what we love. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then,
thank you so much.